We are back in the shop on another snowy Saturday in Missouri. Working on the KLR again, which seems to be what I do all the time anymore. Last week, put out a video where we disassembled the shock, changed the oil, and I was checking the spring out. Decided that it was the factory spring that was on it. Well, easy. I had thought that the factory spring was, for me, it worked pretty good, and it still does if I'm just, riding the motorcycle by itself. But once I got it back together last week, I checked the sag. And with just me on it, no gear, no camping supplies, no riding gear, had about 4 inches of sag, and your 3 is about optimal. So I'm figuring as soon as I put camping gear on it, I'm going to be dragging ass. So I ordered a Topgun spring. The factory spring is like 5.1 kilograms per millimeter. I went to Topgun's website, looked at their little chart. For me, my weight, riding gear, 100 pounds of, up to 100 pounds of camping gear and everything, the 7.4 was what it called for. So then I went over to Racetech site, run the numbers through there. They came up with the same thing, 7.4. So I got one ordered. There is a little difference when you measure the springs. Factory one's about 10 inches long. This one is about 9.5. The inside diameter where it fits around the shock's the same. The coil diameters are slightly different. The Topgun coils are about 0.460, where the stock one's about 0.415. So you got bigger coils. And since it is a ½ inch shorter, uncompressed, it'll be a little bit easier to get back on the shock. The shock's good to go because, like I say, I changed the oil last week. So I'm going to put the new shock on, or put the new spring on the shock, put the shock back on the bike. We'll check the sag and see if I've done a good thing or not. And then since it's supposed to get to 50-degree weather next week, I'll get to ride it and try it out. All right, we've got the new spring in there. I love how easy it is to change the shocks on these. The preload went from 4 inches down to 2 3/4 with just me on the bike. So preload's on its lowest setting, so I start adding gear, camping equipment, everything. It should be fine. If I need a little more, I've got all the other preload settings to go to. As long as I like it, just riding it normal. As long as it's not too harsh. So snow melts off a little bit. I get to ride it next week. I'll let you know. Till then.